And it is rainy, it is buggy, and nobody's stomach's doing well this morning. We did have one car come by on the farm road there last night, or this morning, that we had to kind of duck and cover for. But beyond that, this was a reasonable stealth camp considering the options. Unfortunately, Jen is still not doing great. Diarrhea hasn't gone away. I've been giving her Imodium. You know, we're making sure she's not dehydrated, but it's just kind of misery, and a misery I know really well. I've been encouraging her, if she wants to walk into La Junta and then try and jump ahead to Rocky Ford, I would. You know, I need to walk every step. Her, it doesn't matter as much, so she could jump ahead to a hotel, rest all day, and then I can try and get there at the end of the day. But we'll see. Yesterday she was like, no, I don't want to do that. This morning that turned into, well, maybe we'll see if that's an option. Unfortunately, there's just not a good way to tell, you know, what's behind something like this. Backpacking, much less through hiking, is just a mismatch of exposure to all sorts of things. So could have been a hygiene thing, could have been a food thing, could have been a water thing. Maybe my system handled it a little better and hers is struggling with it. Who knows? Generally, I'm the one having stomach problems and she's fine, but I'm also exposed to a lot more. There were more mosquitoes down here than I have seen in weeks. Kind of thought mosquito season was over, but is what it is. So unlike where we ended setting up, this is actually state land. This is what we were nominally aiming for. I had a few more options up ahead to varying degrees of I'd feel good about this. Unfortunately, as you can see, it's pretty open and I don't want to set up visible. Even if we know 100% we are okay to camp, public land, yada yada, being visible out here is just asking for trouble. The local sheriffs, we're out of the norm. Their priority is often just not to have transients hanging out. They're concerned about encampments and things like that, so maybe it would have been okay, but I just feel like it's asking for trouble. So in general, I am looking for anything not fenced, not marked private property. Well, not marked, you know, no trespassing private property. Then ideally not fenced, because I don't like hopping fences. Though in open range states, you often don't have a choice. You know, and they're just there to keep cattle in one section versus another. And then I'm looking for coverage. There was something down by Horse Creek back there that might have worked. It looked like it was probably used for grazing. But trying to jump a fence by a busy road is just, again, asking for trouble. What you really want is a straight shot into vegetation, close enough to the road that you can time traffic where nobody can see you, and then you run for it. See what happened to me in Maryland, West Virginia. Early on, somebody saw me go into the bushes to check a spot. Next thing you know, they're running around. It wasn't their property, it was actually a public utility property, but there were some guys running around trying to figure out what I was doing. Overall, yesterday did go okay. It was a bit of a bummer, especially at the point we reached the end where we were hoping to get water and found out it was like a meth-ridden hobble. And then we were concerned about getting water and everything. Both of us were kind of feeling a little overwhelmed for a little while there. Then we found the house, asked for water, got into a better area where there were multiple places we would have felt comfortable asking, and things improved a bit. Jen just inherently has a little less motivation for doing the thing as far as, you know, being goal-oriented. She wants to go out into pretty places she enjoys. I'm the one who's have a goal, meet the goal, etc., etc. So when I'm feeling horrible, I'm miserable, I'm down, but I still have this kind of innate drive to go forward. It's a little less so with her. And it's just kind of a bummer because this is the last 3 days together. Ideally, we would just be cooking along and enjoying the time for what it is. See, I think this is karma for her being so down on Kansas when I was so over the top positive. Just saying, oh, she wished she got to do Colorado. And then we get to Colorado and it's worse than Kansas. This was actually one of the options I had looked at. Come up here, we're on public land. There was a windbreak situated in between the trees. Like I was telling Jen though, state land doesn't necessarily mean you're legal to camp so much as you're probably less likely to get hassled versus, you know, a private landowner that sees you go into their petunia bushes. And while the last couple of days haven't been great, there are constant signs of kind of incremental improvement, is what I would call them, as we are headed west. The area around my parents is very kind of deserty compared with, you know, higher up in Colorado. And this has been starting to give some indicators of that. You know, we're starting to get pine trees and the occasional little spiny yucca out here. I always find it kind of heartening to have some sense that, oh, it's going to get better, easier, etc. up ahead, or at least difficult in a different way. Versus thinking, oh, it's going to be this way for the next 2,000 some miles. It did rain on us off and on last night, though. We were so tired that at least I wasn't up. Didn't make getting out to pee and do our necessaries this morning. Extra miserable, though, with all the grass. It's looking like that's going to continue for the morning. There are more scattered showers in the forecast for the next couple of days. It also does look like it's going to get up to 90 some degrees today, and then Tuesday it's back to 93, 95, which is right on the border of maybe I need to siesta. It does depend, obviously, if there's high humidity, which there's not going to be in Colorado. It can be significantly cooler and yet warm enough where I would have to stop. Also, it just kind of depends on the wind. We had some really hot, blowy days where we couldn't use the umbrellas, and the umbrellas give you at least a couple of degrees of relief since you don't have the sun beating down on you. The umbrellas we're using are the kind of standard 6 Moon design. Oh, that is horrible lighting. Okay, that's better. The umbrellas we're using are the standard 6 Moon design ones that you see used very commonly. I think a couple of brands basically use the same umbrella and rebrand it. This one was given to me by Anton way back on the CNO, and huge thanks, because I probably wouldn't have thought to grab one, but it has made things much more pleasant as far as the rain and the heat out here. There is one by Hyperlight Mountain Gear that does look like it's a little bit different that I'm kind of curious to try, because they added a vent on the inside. So it looks like it has flaps that go over the vent so rain can't get in, but wind has a way to go in and then come out. And considering how often I feel like Mary Poppins walking along with the wind, you know, coming under and catching it, that actually seems like it might be a worthwhile upgrade. I ordered one just to see about testing it at the very least. It's also about an inch bigger diameter-wise, not much. There are several of us through hikers that have made the same comment about wishing the ultralight umbrellas were just a little bit bigger, like not the full-on golf umbrella massive thing, but somewhere in between. We do seem to be in a friendlier area. Just had somebody stop and offer us a ride. So this has been one of the options where we could have potentially tried to find something yesterday. There's a hiking trail. I learned that doesn't feel that long ago. Okay, I'm admittedly really bad at remembering like city names and things, but seriously, Cimarron to the west, Cimarron to the east. That's not helping. And never passed up a bathroom. So many butterflies. And welcome to La Junta. Big on goats in this town. That lady yesterday gave us some bottled water after what was honestly some pretty bad water out of that park, just horribly chlorinated, etc. It has been so nice. I think I could probably convince Jen to let me buy bottled water for a fill up here. And yeehaw, back to the rechristened Arkansas River. About 4,000 feet. Got to be either in the lowest of the low flats out west or the highest of the high peaks out east. This one's got to have something vegetarian, right? Come on, their logo's a pig. Taters is feeling at least a little bit better. Enough where she didn't just cry when I said you want to go eat. So.
Also, I got really good vibes coming into this town. There were a lot of goats. There was a woman feeding the goats, which was exciting, and I got multiple friendly waves and one person who offered to let me go in the back of their truck so I could catch a tan.
That was an attempted kidnapping, and they were raising the goats for meat to eat, but yeah. Okay, we have been fed, and now we are filled up with water. Nothing like another comforting gallon of water on my shoulders, and we are making our way to Swink, and after that, Rocky Fork. Rocky Fork, we have a hotel booked. Miss Taters here is all of a sudden too good to hide in like cornfields, I guess. Just because some raccoons barked at her this morning. Personally, I think it was a chupacabra, but she didn't get any pictures. Because unlike me, she doesn't go to the bathroom with her phone just in case she needs to post to Instagram, or she gets barked at by some random unidentified animal. Oil or something? We are certainly feeling a much friendlier vibe all of a sudden out here. Jen, like she mentioned, had people waving at her and asking her questions as we were walking in. As soon as we sat down, somebody came over and was chatting with us and wishing us well. So we're feeling a little better. It was a little bit of a sketchy area right around the meth hotel, though it did improve after that. And see, that's the sort of signage we like as people wandering around hoping to find nice people. Not the places that have like the F your feelings signs and we don't call 911 with a gun on. Oh, public pools make me so jealous. One of my distinct memories from the AT is whatever town that is in like New York where there's a zoo, you go by an area, they have a pool and they have a whole bunch of signs on the wall of all the things you're not allowed to do. And basically you can tell that most of those were there because thru-hikers showed up with 8 days of dirt and tried to just like jump into the water. I must be getting wimpy in my old age here. It's like 90, 92 degrees and it feels hot. I was telling Jen, it's like, psh, anything that isn't like high 90s, low hundreds, that shouldn't even faze us. Oh my God. There's a freaking mountain over there. I was looking at it and I'm like, is there something wrong with the horizon? Mountain! Oh, it's good to be out west. Not only do we have corn, we have public access corn. And per my Peak Finder app, that mountain off in the distance is actually Pikes Peak, one of the 14ers. I think it's too warm out here to act like a ferocious guard dog. Oh, guys.
Very exciting. Another new crop. First time we've seen this one all summer. And it's one of my favorite foods, pumpkins.
And welcome to the grand metropolis of Swink, which is sorely lacking in cold drinks at the moment. Nice area. That farm guy just stopped and gave me 3 things of ice cold water, which are lovely right now. And I seem to have collected a large herd of gnats for some reason. And we just got another offer of cold water bottles. Welcome to Rocky Fork. Unfortunately, Jen's still not feeling the best, and there doesn't seem to be much we can do to change things here. We do have another cheap hotel room waiting for us tonight, so plan A is going to be run in and try and gorge on 27 miles-ish worth of calories, and then get to the hotel, clean up, and probably crash pretty hard. Well, that was fun. Not the best food, and they ignored us for like 10-15 minutes and then came and told us no fires in the bathroom. Seemed to confuse us with somebody else. And this is going to be us for the night. Here's hoping similar to the last one. It's a little less sketchy on the inside versus the outside. Delaware to San Francisco, technically.
When did you leave?
Fortunately, the owner was really nice, and the room was pretty reasonable considering the